Welcome to Business Talks. Business Talks is brought to you in part by STCU and O'Brien Logistics.
Well, welcome to Business Talks. I'm Kent Adams, and my guest today, can I call you a good friend?
Yes, sir. You
Okay,
may.
because you're a good guy.
Yeah, we've talked quite a bit.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? About all the ups and downs of small business. Scott O'Brien. Scott, I loved your story because so many people that I talk to go, you have people on, Kent, who have taken that leap of faith from working for someone else to starting your own business.
That's correct.
And I think a lot of us would like to do that. But it's nice to have someone else worry about cash flow and writing the checks and making the payments and everything else, and then also saluting them because we have to sell in a certain way and all of those things.
And there's security in the job.
There is. And so let's go back a few years and talk about what your background is, and then let's move into what you're doing now. So you've got a background with the big companies,
Yep.
right?
I've I've always had a passion and a desire for transportation, whether it was ships, trains, planes,
Okay.
trucks. And
Is that because you enjoyed shipping people out of town to get rid of them?
no, I just think coming from a small town in Idaho and seeing
Yeah.
the trucks go by, and then my father had trucks, and so it was
Okay.
just fascinating to me. But going through that, my background began as I started driving truck, and then I moved my way up and worked for a major trucking company for
Right.
years,
Right.
and accomplished some goals there. And then I was hired by a paper mill,
Okay.
and did logistics for them globally.
Wow.
And with that experience, there was a lot of encouragement that you could go out and do on your own, and
Yes.
you have this talent, but I think a majority of it was passion and faith. There's a
Yeah.
lot of passion and faith, and then when you have people that actually will join you too,
Yes.
that's huge. And
You know,
I have.
that staffing issue we were mentioning before we went on, and so forth, and I was talking with somebody just earlier today about the two biggest issues that most startups have and most small business have, all businesses actually, but smaller businesses for sure, and that's hiring and keeping the right people and cash flow.
Cash flow,
And that's
yeah.
really probably at the top for a small business because they're financing it themselves or small loans or whatever it may be.
Right.
I even had a fellow in this morning who was talking about his parents started the business and they use credit cards to get going, and they get a big payment in and bring the credit card down, and that would get them by for a couple of months and so forth. Welcome to the world of small business.
That's right. And then, you have everything, and there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yes.
And since we are a transportation company, we're continually purchasing fuel,
Yes.
oil, petroleum
and
products.
that's going up right now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I just read the oil report, and it's going up. And you can see around town, it's already went up 40-some cents a gallon.
Wow.
And but so we have to compensate for that. And
Yeah.
and then the cash flow, that was huge.
Yeah.
And but we've made a determination that some of our customers are going to be 15 days, and then
Okay.
others are 30 days, and we will hound you to get our money because we
Yeah.
have to operate.
Yeah.
And but we have
And that was
really
different
good
with some of the
customers.
big guys, though, too, right?
yeah.
Because they would do the 30 to 45 or 60
Some
days.
were extending it to 120 days.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And we just can't operate like that.
No.
Yeah, Our costs
that
are too
would
much.
kill most small businesses.
Yep.
It really would.
But then you have to have your faith in yourself and,
Yes.
and the people. And you mentioned employees.
You've got
you
good
live and learn.
employees,
I've
don't
got
you?
some great employees,
Yes.
and employees that actually gave up their job to come work for me because
Really?
of their belief in what we're doing. And I tell you, my company has been successful because of my people. It's not me; it's our people.
Yeah, I agree.
And
with
just-
all of us, that's that
Yeah,
way.
mhm.
Yes.
And I wouldn't, if somebody tries to recruit them, that's my biggest concern.
Yeah.
But if people ask me what's our secret, and it's our people.
Yeah.
They just give it 110%.
Yeah.
And I one day I hope to really repay them.
Right.
So,
Well, as they help to grow the business and make you more profitable and everything else, then it's an opportunity to reward them.
That's right,
Those who
yeah.
have been there, especially since
And they're
day
investing
one.
their time right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and they're making sacrifices.
Speaking of small business, you just got something. We won't go into how much or anything, but
Yeah.
you just got a bill, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. It was that kind of a wake-up call?
Yeah,
Tell us what it was.
We received our quarterly L&I bill,
Okay.
and it's pretty discouraging when you're planning and you're doing your budgeting and for the year,
Right.
And you figure in those costs, and we
Right.
also figure it into our rates, but when a third of your earnings go towards L&I, you can't get in health care for your employees, and you can't give raises. We had it budgeted for health care and
Right.
affordable health care for our employees and pay raises, but that's been put on hold because of the L&I. And so we're looking at options of what we can do to get our people some more money in that.
And you hear from individuals out there that talk about $15 an hour or $20 an hour and so forth, but that really doesn't cost. That isn't the full cost.
That's right,
to a
yeah.
small business. And when you get hit with something like you intended to do improvements for your staff,
Yep.
and all of a sudden that was wiped out with one letter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually at the end of the year too. And and so you just the beauty of our team is we just bind together and we're going to figure out a way to make this better. And we've even looked at the options of relocating.
Oh, okay.
But we would still, to be honest with you, I really want us to be the premier carrier in Spokane. I love Spokane. We moved here a couple of years ago. I've been in Washington for over 20 some years.
Right.
And so we're very proud to be Washington. We want to be a premier Spokane carrier. And when I tweet to Kathy McMorris Rogers and the governor and invite them over to see us, it's because I'm proud to be a Spokane business. But if we can't afford to do business here without costing our customers more, we have to look at options. My people have to come
and
first.
if you have to raise the rates and so forth,
Which we
that
have.
much more, then they either find somebody else or they don't do it or whatever, and so everybody loses at that
That's
point.
right, yeah. We've had some customers that have walked away but we simply can't afford to do business.
Well, you
with
can't
them.
do it at a loss. I mean, come on.
And our employees are paid well above minimum wage. So,
Okay, yeah.
So we're not talking about $8-9 an hour.
Right.
We're talking well above that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Let's do this. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, let's talk about the things that go into and why you do what you do, because
Indeed.
your approach is really different than the big guys, and it's working for you.
Yes, it is.
Which I think is great. So we're going to take a quick break from our sponsors, and one of them is you.
That's right.
O'Brien
I'm
Logistics.
excited about our commercial.
Now
Yes.
he can sit here and watch his own commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.
I'm Nikki Butler, and I'm a regional manager for STCU. My lunch buddy is Nicole.
I'm Brandy Schloss. I'm a regional manager at STCU. My lunch buddy is Angelina. She's grown up with me. I've grown up with her. To see her graduate will be a lot of fun.
Brandy and I have been lunch buddies since the girls were in second grade. It's great that STCU provides me with the opportunity to be part of Reach for the Future. We are committed to the children. We're committed to our community. I'm Nikki.
I'm Brandy.
And STCU is here for good.
O'Brien Logistics would like to invite you to try our local and regional transportation services. With Sprinter vans, lift gates, hot shot flatbeds, and expedited services, our people are ready to step in and help with your transportation needs. Our services are 24/7, 365, and we are trained and prepared to handle air cargo and Canadian shipments. Give us a call at 208-305-2311 or visit our website at o'brienlogistics.net. That's OBRIEN logistics.net.
Welcome back. And Scott O'Brien with O'Brien Logistics. Did you have to think long and hard about what you're going to call your company? That's
no,
pretty
we
easy to
actually
remember.
did some surveys. We did
did you?
surveys, long before we'd come up with the name, and there
Okay.
were several names, and we'd pass it out. And O'Brien actually wasn't even the first name, but
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
And so, but it fits.
Now, you've learned some things working with the big companies, and we talked a little bit about the billing process and the 30, 60, even 120 days
Mm-hmm.
out and so forth. You were bound and determined to not let that happen as a small business owner, that
Right.
that cash has to keep coming in so you can pay your people and pay the state and everybody else, right? So how did you approach that, and what did you do with that?
Well, I knew that I had to have that, especially being part of the accounts payable and receivables at my last position.
Yes.
So I knew how important the cash flow was.
Yeah.
And so I knew companies out there with technology today, they have the processes to do that.
Right.
And so we seek for that when we're talking to a customer, and it's quite amazing at how many can pay direct deposit or ACH, within
Okay.
within our terms and
Okay.
accept our terms. And we've found that the people that really do want to hold our money or push us out to terms longer than that, we do go to them and ask them, hey, is there a financial problem that we can work
Right.
this out with you?
'Cause you wanna know
We
that
wanna
up
take
front, too.
Yeah, because they might be a small business, and
Yes,
so we want
yeah.
to take that approach first. But then we realize that we really have to be careful. And then on the other side, we have to be careful with our providers,
Right.
that we make sure we're paying them on time.
Right.
And so it goes both ways. We just want to be a
That-
good customer.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
work, isn't it?
It is.
Because people, okay, so you move things,
Mm-hmm.
all right? You have trucks and move things, but they forget about the billing. They forget about the human services that and all of the other kinds of things
Mm-hmm. The
that.
training that we pay for.
Yes.
We pay thousands in training for
Do you
safety
really?
and
Yeah.
education, and so we can track electronically.
Okay.
Within seconds, you know where your shipment is.
Okay, so you know where the shipments are. You know if someone's leaving Spokane to go, let's say, up north on 395 or something, you know that, and you know when it's been delivered too, don't
Yes.
you?
Mhm. We have a geofence built around that address, so when they get within, we can make it a mile to
Yeah.
30 feet around the business, and then once they cross that geofence electronically, we get an alert, and then they have an app on their phone that says, I've arrived.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then once it's they've delivered, the customer can either sign their phone
Right.
or the paperwork, and then our drivers will upload the proof of delivery or POD,
Okay.
and then we can invoice it out.
Yeah, and so really the same day and within hours, you're
Within minutes.
invoicing within minutes.
Yeah, we typically, now that we've become very steady with business,
Yeah.
we do our invoicing in the evening most of the time.
Right,
so,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. But when you work for other companies, it could be days later.
Yes.
Or weeks even.
Because you're waiting for approvals and et
Right,
cetera, et cetera.
right. And the paperwork to get back from a shipment and 2 states over or whatever and so forth. What else makes you different in terms of your services?
Well, our people, of course, I mentioned that,
Yeah.
and I have to mention them in every aspect of our business.
Yeah.
Any challenge we have, we bind together.
Okay.
There's a
How many
proverb
people
that's-
do you have?
Right now, we've got 6.
Okay.
And we've got several people that own their own equipment and drive for us.
Okay.
And so we count them as drivers. So
Right.
total. And then plus we have IC agreements or independent contractor agreements
Okay,
with
right.
over 1,500 owners.
Oh, wow.
Around the world.
Okay.
And so we run expedited in that. And so that's what I said earlier. We have to be able to pay them.
Yes.
Because if we hire a driver to do that. then
Right. Yeah.
But with our employees, our follow-up, our response time,
Right.
we're always communicating to our customers.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that was so valuable. But our people they've made a goal to be the best out there.
Yeah. What do you look for when you go to hire somebody?
We look for their attitude, first of all. How do
Okay.
they present themselves?
Right.
Not so much physically, but with
Right.
their emotion, how they come in to
Right.
us. We check references. How's their
Okay.
attitude? Are they?
Right.
We're
And when
not
you don't
looking-
hear back from somebody, you kind of know, don't you?
Yeah, and we really look for that passionate type person. Or what's really impressive to us with younger people is their desire to learn and a passion to do something. And there's so much creativity in
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
and that's really what we want. We want people to come in ground floor
Yeah.
and say, I want to move up. What else do you have? How
Right,
can I make
right,
this better and be
right.
part of our team? So that's
Yeah.
what we look for.
And they're offering ideas and suggestions are really important, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've learned really quickly that my ways are not always the smartest ways.
Yeah.
And so with our people, and we talk about these
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
It's amazing how much we've really.
It's like around here, and Vinny's going to laugh in the other room because he hears me talk about this. But a lot of my old friends go, "How do you do all of this electronics and social media and all that?" And I said, "I have people under 30 that work for me."
Yeah.
Okay, they understand that,
Yes,
and
they
it's
do.
part of their DNA. Where when you're almost 73. You can barely get the computer on
Yep.
and the iPad and so forth. You know what I mean? We did not grow up with that.
That's right,
Now
yeah.
you have, because you've been writing software and other things as well.
Yeah.
But most of us haven't, and that makes it a little tougher. You mentioned something in passing, and I want to get back to it, and that is when you said 1,500 contractors out there around the world. So you're global.
We're global.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes, we.
So I can send a package from here to Paris, France.
Yeah, and we do some of that with the big companies, FedEx,
Okay.
GPS, DHL.
Right.
Yes, we do some of that with them, but we actually have we've partnered with a company called A&O Express
Okay.
and some others. And so what we've done is that allows us to reach into Europe and Asia
Right.
and that. And so if there's expedited shipments there, we have trucks and drivers there.
Okay.
And then
What part of your business is that? Is it small?
that is our small air freight,
Okay.
same day type packages.
Right.
So, for example, if a production plant down or line is down and they need a Gidget,
Yeah.
and it's made in Spokane or Seattle, they ask us
You
what
can
we'll-
do it.
and then it's per hour.
Right. Okay.
Because as you know, production, if you go down, it could be $15,000 an hour.
Yes,
And
yes.
so we just go straight through. We'll get a team and
Yeah.
shoot it straight through.
What do you do things for homeowners? Do you do things just for small business as well as big business?
Mm-hmm.
Who are your clients?
Our clients are anywhere. We have some that we haul cement bags for just locally.
Really?
And, yeah, and it's a big corporation. We have.
Don't let your van or your truck leak.
That's
It
right.
might
yeah.
be hard to get out of the
That's
cement.
right. Yeah. Well, they're only in there for a few minutes. So
Oh,
we make
okay.
sure it's sunny out.
Yeah.
So no, but we have paper mills. We have
Yeah.
some third-party brokers that come to us that
Okay.
have customer bases in town. We work for the airlines.
Okay.
And so we have a whole array of
Oh, wow.
customers. We have some home deliveries that we do that are
Okay.
larger.
Okay.
And those are for some of your larger companies like Home Depot or Lowe's.
Right,
And that require specialty. We're not so much with the Amazon packages right now.
Yeah, yeah.
We, in our studies, we're not objected to that.
Right.
But right now in our studies, we have found that for the work involved in that, it's just
Yeah.
too hard on our equipment and it doesn't pay that well.
Right.
And so we
But if
will
I've
look at
got
that.
grandma's antiques though, and I need to send them back to Chicago, you could come out and help do that.
Yeah, we could look at some of that, yeah.
Yeah.
And most of it is business related.
Right.
Yeah, on the personal level. And we have all sorts of calls, and if we can't help, we will usually suggest somebody
Okay,
that can.
yeah.
And I found in
To me, that's
Spokane-
important because we start with you, but
Yep.
how many businesses have told me, "Well, I don't know, we don't do that." Goodbye.
Yep.
And
Well, we always
help
want to
me.
help, and because we have found that if we can push business to the people that do it,
Mm-hmm.
they push business back to us, and so we're huge on collaborating, and
Yeah.
we don't favor a customer over a vendor.
Yeah.
Everybody to us is the same,
Yeah.
and it's up here.
We have a lot of that in Spokane, and I don't know as you started your business because you came with so much knowledge and experience, but we've had a lot of people on our programs who start from nothing to create a business. And one of the questions I ask is, what's it like in Spokane? Have you gotten the help you've needed when you've asked somebody, what's it like? What stumbling blocks will I have to start my new business? And we are a community that steps up to help our fellow startups, don't we?
I think Spokane is very unique, and,
Yeah.
I think that even bleeds over down into some of the Idaho areas
Yes.
and all that. I think it's just our culture here.
No, I think you're right.
And I have been shocked at the people that have come out and said, "Well, look," and then meeting people through organizations like this, meeting
Right.
your people that you've had on your show. There's just a wealth of knowledge out there, and they're willing to share it to make everybody successful.
Yeah, I had a gal in yesterday. She and her husband started a excavation company a year ago. They moved up. They picked Spokane because that's where they wanted to raise their kids. Okay, and so forth. They started just like 11 months ago. And one of the things I felt really good about is I just this morning by email introduced her to a landscape company here in town because I said, what exactly do you do? We move dirt.
Yep.
Well, landscape architect and company needs people to help at times moving dirt for big
That's
half
right.
million dollar projects and so forth. And I really, when I hit the button to send to the two different people, I felt good about that
Yeah.
because I know there will be some synergy from that. And that's what we're about here in
Well,
Spokane.
and there's a lot of new companies coming in
Yes.
here, and so I think the social media aspect, we're
Yeah.
trying to build that in our website, get our website redesigned,
Right.
and the social media out there because we really do want to help people in
Yeah.
Spokane.
Yeah.
And I know there's some smaller companies that have come into town and then been asking for some local distribution. We want to help or
Yeah.
put you in touch with the
Yeah,
right people.
Right. Okay. So O'Brien Logistics. What did we forget to talk about? Anything?
No, I want to make sure that we know that Bobby Birchfield was.
Yes.
We made her our general manager.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Sean Walburn will continue as our fleet manager, so he's handling the day-to-day trucking operations right now.
So you can goof off and come down and see me.
Well, that's what they probably think I do,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
know.
to do some other stuff. But no, we talk regularly all day,
Yeah.
and we a lot of online communication.
Yeah.
And plus, our driver's involved in a lot of our daily communications,
Yeah.
so we know how to plan better for people.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
How can people get in touch with you?
They can call us at 208-305-2311. There's
Okay.
prompts on there, or you can reach on our cell. Look on our Facebook page at O'BrienLogistics.net
Okay.
or on Facebook.
Okay.
And
you're
our web
you're
page is
updating it right now. Your web page.
well, yeah, our webpage will be fully. We're going to come out with a new logo and some new
Ooh.
things. So we have a company in town that's redoing our website
Okay.
and start pushing out our media.
Good.
But
Good.
when you know you're too busy to do it yourself,
Yeah.
something good must be happening.
Yeah.
So we're excited about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks,
What
Ken.
a-
Always
what
a pleasure.
What a great story. I love these stories. And I love to see the successes that you and others in small business. I mean, you've got what 5-6 trucks out there, and
Yeah.
I mean, wow, that's great.
And we just want to help people out.
Good.
That's all we want
right.
to do. So
Scott O'Brien Logistics, get in touch with them because they're good, just plain good people. And
Appreciate that.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Business Talks.
Thanks for watching. Business Talks is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Business Talks is brought to you in part by STCU and O'Brien Logistics. Ask Kent a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.